Hey everybody, it's me, Blake the Scholar of Magic, and today I was thinking, hey, let's just do like an impromptu kind of deck feature and just talk about shapeshifters and maybe my journey with them, and maybe it's different from yours. But like the first deck I played was Anawan, and yeah, that's a great commander, of course. And the owner of the LGS was really encouraging me to go like shapeshifters, and I was, kind of getting into them, and most of them are rogues, of course, and that kind of got me into that kind of setup, and I think it's kind of stuck around. And I've always just kind of liked this kind of ability to copy cards and kind of really have all the triggers really go off because I think that's like probably the most enjoyable part about Magic was when you're really getting trigger heavy and you're just like really getting a lot of synergy with your cards. That's what I really like. So I really do think like Aragorn is a great conduit for copying. I mean, he's definitely like a great commander to copy. You, of course, get all the value from it from having multiple copies. You get the additional triggers. It really kind of opens up the card and really kind of gives it some extra dosage of power. And we really love power, especially like if we get in for that commander lethal. Like that's always kind of fun too with Aragorn. So that's always a possibility with this particular deck. So how do we do it? So for instance, like a card like Vesuvian Duplimency, that's kind of the one that we're looking at right now in the front. And this card is, it's an interesting one. This one is like sometimes you don't mind just casting it, like on curve and just letting it kind of sit and maybe have a play open for next turn, like perhaps maybe an Aragorn turn and a targeting turn on end step so you get an additional copy. That's kind of an interesting like way to go about the Vesuvian Duplimency, and I kind of really like that. So to meet the criteria, you just have to have like basically a card that targets Aragorn. A good example would just be like a card like the Cerulean Wisps, and for instance, that one's just a nice one, and it's an instant speed, so that's what's even better. And yeah, you could just hold up like counter magic or whatever, and get a hold of that token. We just love it to get like an Aragorn copy token off the Vesuvian Duplimency, and you get to draw a card. It's just, this is good stuff, guys. So that's like kind of the interaction with the Vesuvian Duplimency. Let's just get these guys going here. Now we kind of have like a slew of other ones, and the thing about like the legend rule, of course, is that I couldn't just cast Aragorn and cast the Glasspool Mimic because it would become like a direct copy of that creature itself with the name. And with that kind of in mind, of course, you can only have one of the legends out at once. Vesuvian Duplimency does get around that because it basically says the legend rule doesn't apply, I believe. Let's see how this goes. We'll just read this real quick. Whenever you cast a spell that targets only a single artifact or creature you control, create a token that's a copy of that artifact or creature, except it's not legendary. Well, that's just gas. It just takes the legend right off of it. So very interesting stuff. Of course, like there's other stuff to copy in our deck. Like, we wouldn't mind copying like a Faber Elder or a Bloom Tender sometimes. There's some other, non-legendary creatures that aren't such bad targets for the Glasspool Mimic. But really the real juice is when you basically get like, for instance, like a Sakashima to copy one of your legendaries, because then the legend rule doesn't apply to permanents we control as long as we have this creature on the battlefield. So, for instance, I copy Aragorn with Sakashima, and now I have the Mimic here, and now I can just go ahead and put the Mimic on Sakashima. Or even, Aragorn itself, like whatever I wanted to target, and then I'd have 3 Aragorns. And that's kind of like, I'd say like the golden number. Once we can get 3 of something, whether it's like an Aragorn or like a Narset, if like having like 3 Narsets on board is really good. And it's also very good with this kind of card. The Dreadhorde Arcanist. Obviously the Dreadhorde Arcanist is great with Narset or Aragorn. They're basically like really good commander synergies because you have the prowess. And, as you cast those non-creature spells, this thing will get stronger with Narset. In addition, you keep casting the spells with the Arcanist too when it attacks. So you basically have like 2 like cast triggers going off at once, and everything just gets stronger, and it's just like a kind of a snowball-y effect. So it's just really interesting, like either Aragorn with Narset or I mean, Dreadhorde Arcanist with Aragorn or Dreadhorde Arcanist with Narset. That's kind of like our bread and butter. And then, of course, like just obviously these amazing, like, ones that are just going to copy and not like, affect the legend rule. That's just amazing stuff for us. So this is one of my favorites though, guys. And it's not even like, it doesn't even get around the legend rule. What's amazing about this card is it will just become a copy of any non-land permanent on the battlefield. So say like someone plays a Bolas, like, 7-mana Bolas, and all of a sudden, like, we're just slamming our Clever Impersonator and copying it, and then we're having like a really good time, right? So, I mean, this thing is like a discount. You can even copy like One Rings with this thing. You can copy any permanent on the battlefield. It's fantastic. It really is something. I really, really like this card. Okay, so we're getting a little on the wild side here, and it's like, well, let's just do it. Like, let's just kind of get a little crazy. So Orvar is that other one where it doesn't get by the legend rule, of course, which is kind of sad. But it's just like, I think it just has that kind of interesting payoff where we will be targeting things in our deck. I just think it's just kind of I think it's a fitting 4-drop. So that's an interesting one. And if we ever have to discard a card, we can create a token as a copy of a target permanent. So that's kind of fun too, if this is in our hand. It's pretty sweet stuff, huh? Yeah, so I like the Orvar. I think it's cool. Okay, of course, the Phyrexian Metamorph, just really actually just like a 3, generic mana type of spell here. You can just go ahead and, pay the 2 life and just tap this for any 3-color mana. And then we've got a thing that can copy any artifact or creature on the battlefield. This, once again, the selection is unparamount. It doesn't get by the legend rule, but it's just amazing stuff. And then this guy, I mean, like, I don't know, like, it's really kind of, you're definitely saying something when you copy an Aragorn. And copying it with a Spark Double is, like, right where you want to be. It's just like, just a match made in heaven there, and you get a little bit of buff on that Aragorn. And, of course, you can just copy the Spark Double. You can copy it with a Metamorph. And then you can have 3 Aragorns. Once again, like getting that 3 Aragorn thing. And in a Commander game, we might be able to get more, and you might need more. But, I mean, how many do you really need, honestly? I've seen games get, like, soloed by 1 Aragorn. So having more than, 2 on the battlefield at once is a little bit more, right? So there's that. Very excited about this deck. I just kind of wanted to show you a couple key more cards that we kind of already talked about. And then I'll just kind of leave you guys to your devices. I just hope you're having a great day. I'm having a good one. It's the weekend. We're almost at T-Day. So we're happy about that. So really what's going on here is that we basically have like these golden 4s, like these 4 cards really make Aragorn go. And especially think about Curiosity with Aragorn, because Aragorn has that 3 damage clause. So we're going to go ahead and ping an opponent, and if we have a Curiosity attached, that's just damage. It doesn't have to be specifically combat. Just whenever this enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. So we have Curiosity hooked up to Aragorn, and then all of a sudden we cast a red spell, such as a Dreadhorde Arcanist or Narset, and then Curiosity is going to ping an opponent, and we're going to draw. It's so good. And then, of course, when Aragorn swings and connects, we're going to get another card. And then if you have an Ivy on the battlefield, you're targeting Aragorn, and then Ivy's going to see that, and then she's going to get the Curiosity. And then you have 2 creatures swinging with Curiosity, and then it's all good, baby. It's all good. So there's kind of these Wombo Bombo combos here. This is probably the most exceptional one. Definitely is the Curiosity. Really good with Aragorn. Really good tech, guys. I think you're going to love that for your kind of payoffs for Aragorn. Of course, Ivy, just an all-star from Mutate as well. Just an absolute banger there. This card is so annoying to play against 1v1. It might be the best commander. Like, they should do a Brawl tournament one of these days, and this could probably be the top. This card is so frustrating to play against. And you just basically play like a Paradise Druid that has like hexproof, and then you, like, ramp into this and you hold up protection, and you can basically draw like 1 billion of cards. Yeah, it's really difficult. You have to probably like play like a lot of like, evoke type of stuff to like try to get and compete with an Ivy, and still you might not make it. So, and then of course, like just these guys together are just like something else. I just can't like really explain. Of course, to give an idea of how this works, just having like, copying a Narset, for instance, with a spark double, and then you're, maybe cantripping into the Dreadhorde Arcanist with like, like one of those aforementioned, like a Crimson Whips, for instance. So this thing will go to 2 power. The prowess, of course, will make their power go up. Then Dreadhorde can swing. You can make a selection. And of course, Narset also gets the trigger too. So she'll be able to exile a target non-creature non-land card with mana value less than Narset's power from a graveyard and copy it. It's anything. So you can like when we're playing on Brawl, like you can get like whatever that 4 mana rock is that gets you stuff from the Mystical Archive. You can get that kind of stuff. You can just like keep your prowess going and play like other different Is it any non-creature? It is. It is a non-creature. And prowess, yeah, is activated by that. So that's kind of interesting, guys. Yeah. I'll look into that. Maybe you all know. I think artifacts do activate prowess because they're non-creature spells, but it could be just instants or sorceries. I'm not sure. But yeah, you get that selection of any of the non-creatures, so you can do those instants and sorceries, whatever you want to cast. And it is cast, so of course you get the more prowess triggers as well because you cast it. So just amazing, cool stuff, guys. I really dig it. Thanks for just joining me on this shorter video. I hope you liked it. And a full deck tech is incoming soon. It's definitely kind of, a tougher one. It's definitely I'd say on the higher powered side. I think it's pretty tuned up. And it just has some nice abundance of like counter spells so far and like some just good protection. So I'll just kind of sift through this. Like there's just some really nice Aragorn cards here, just overall. Just a lot of good card advantage, a lot of repeatable value, protection. We're going to have the Giver runes in here too. Just these nice multi-face land cards that target as well. Those are really nice for us. Really good stuff. And he joins up as just a massive card for us. The quick reflexes is cool. Dovin's Veto. Yeah, we have like an abundance of kind of, counter spells. So I do like this one. A lot of Surveil lands will be in this one. And it's definitely got the attitude. It's got the Kamigawa basics here. So we just love those. Just, ooh, so shiny. But yeah, hit me a like, hit me a subscribe. Send to your friends. Let them know that there's a guy who wants to just rock with Aragorn. We're going to kill it. Bye.